What's up, theater fans? We are live at 5. I'm Paul Wontorek.
I'm Beth Stevens. We have a fantastic guest today. Indecent star Katrina Lenk is here.
The gorgeous Katrina Lenk.
The gorgeous Katrina Lenk.
She's going to be on Broadway for a while. There's a lot to talk about.
There's a lot to talk about. That's right. But first we have some news.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Did anything happen at Wicked tonight?
Oh, the Wicked. Thanks for asking. There is going to be a triumphant return of Jackie Burns.
Yes.
One of our favorite
alphabas.
Great alphabet. Jackie Burns is returning with a whole new class at Shiz. I want to call it that. July 31st. So guess who's coming in? Jackie Burns. Amanda Jane Cooper as Glinda. She was from the tour.
And very popular on the tour. I've received tweets.
You just want to say popular. You want to say popular.
No, I didn't even think of that.
Yes, you did. Ashley Parker Angel as Fiero.
Who has a great Instagram account.
That's all I'm saying there.
Check it out.
Kristen Martin as Nessa Rose. Jai Frasca, who was in the London company of Wicked as Bach. And the return of Tony winner Rondi Reed as Madame Morrible. What a great cast of Wicked.
Fantastic.
So that's what's going on at the Wicked.
Okay, what else?
Well, okay. You and Morton.
Right, Hamilton news.
Hamilton. So I'm just doing the blockbusters today, you guys.
Yeah.
I'm just doing all the really popular shows. I said popular. Ewan Morton is going to star as King George in Hamilton.
Good casting.
He's replacing Brian Darcy James. Brian's leaving on July 16th. Ewan Morton is starting on July 28th. Why are you laughing at me?
Because you're looking at the wrong camera.
I don't know where I'm supposed to. I'm looking at all the cameras. I'm telling the world about King George and Ewan Morton.
Wait, can we talk about Ewan Morton for a minute? Taboo. Hello, he was Boy George in Taboo.
Do you say taboo or do you say taboo?
Taboo. He was
going
in
from
Taboo.
Boy George to King George.
He was in Taboo. Oh my God, Beth, I didn't even think of that.
You're welcome.
You rewrote the headline.
You're
Change
welcome.
the headline on the site immediately. No, but that's how he made it to Broadway.
That's
he was in Taboo in a tiny club in London, and then when Rosie O'Donnell brought it to Broadway, he got a Tony nomination. He was fantastic, and he just finished Hedwig, the national tour
It's like
of Hedwig.
ancient history. It's like Broadway history with Paul Wontorek. Thank you.
I love talking about Taboo.
Correct.
Bring it back, please, everybody. Can I talk about Uma Thurman? Do you mind?
Go ahead.
So this is big news. Hollywood's Uma Thurman, who received an Oscar nomination for what? Pulp Fiction.
Okay.
She's coming to Broadway. She's been off Broadway, but it was like
I saw her off Broadway,
1999. 1999. It was a long
with
time
Roger
ago.
Reese and the Misanthrope.
I thought she was done with theater. She's not.
She's back. 18
so
years
she's
later.
doing a brand new play by Beau Willimon, who is a playwright who created House of Cards.
The U.S. one, yes.
Yes, the U.S. House of Cards. And this is not that different. So it's called The Parisian Woman. And it's directed by Pam McKinnon, and it takes place in Washington, D.C., not in Paris. And Uma Thurman's going to play this woman. She sounds like she's sort of like manipulating everyone, and it sounds very House of Cards, actually.
Sounds like House of Cards and Scandal.
Yeah, it's going to be like that. It's set in that kind of world.
Yes.
And it's based on a French play called La Parisienne. I'm not good at French.
I love the way you did that.
It's from 1885. And when this play premiered, it was a scandal. Kind of like Indecent, right? So, scandalous plays. But this was scandalous because it had a very loose attitude about adultery. So people were shocked at the time. So anyway, it's coming to Broadway on November 30th. It's going to open. We don't know where. And then there's also news over at Cats. There's some new kitty cats. On July 17th, there's 4 new kitty cats. Samantha Sturm as Demeter. Zachary Downer, who will not be a downer because he's playing Mephistopheles, which is a very up character. Mackenzie Warren, Bomb Ballerina, and Sarah Marie Jenkins, my childhood favorite, Jenny Annie Dots. Jenny Annie Dots is my childhood favorite, not Sarah Marie Jenkins. I'm sure she's like 25.
I'm sure she's fantastic, but she was not your childhood favorite.
Yeah.
She's the best.
She's so good. Okay, so there's stuff going on at The Waitress.
Yes.
It's not called The Waitress, but I'm calling it that. Jeremy Morse is taking over for a little while, just temporarily, for Christopher Fitzgerald.
Yes.
So, but here's an interesting fact, and he'll be making his Broadway debut.
What's the name of the character?
Ogie.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
You said
and
it.
Love is Like a Table.
No, that's right.
I know the play, but he did it at ART, so this is
I
not
saw
his first time in The
I
Waitress.
saw him do it at ART. He was fantastic. And he's been in the ensemble now. And when I remember when I just went to see it on Broadway, I was like, that's the guy that was fantastic at ART in one of those lead roles.
Well, he's going to get to strut his
everyone
stuff.
gets to see him do it.
So he's going to do that from August
until
he's already there. He's going to do it through August 13th, and then Chris Fitz back on August 15th.
Tony nominee.
Nominee, Christopher Fitzgerald.
Yes.
Okay.
This
is
potentially pre-Broadway news, everyone. Just get excited.
Potential. Uzo Aduba, who has like more Emmys than anybody has ever had Emmys for Orange is the New Black. She plays Crazy Eyes, of course. She's going to star as Rosaline I didn't see the movie.
Rosaline.
Thank you. The Secret Life of Bees.
Yes.
This is a best-selling novel by Sue Monk Kidd.
I'm trying to get Beth really excited about this property because I feel like it's very Broadway bound. They're doing it at Powerhouse.
That's correct. They're doing it at Vassar. Yes.
Yes.
July 27th through July 30th. So it's just, a quickie. A quickie. That's how they do it up there. Okay, listen to this cast.
Yes.
Are you ready?
It's not just Ubo.
It's not just Uzo. There's more. It's Sophia Ann Caruso, who's like in everything. Issa Davis, who we love from Passing Strange and everything else. Keisha Lewis,
The
Ben
original
Davis.
Mama Will Provide Once in a Island. Just had to throw that out there. I love
Whew,
Keisha
you're
Lewis.
just giving me
Sorry.
so much information.
Got excited.
Ben Davis and, I'm going to mess up this name, so I'm sorry if you're watching, Odyssey Georgiadis.
Sure.
Sure. But listen to who wrote this thing.
This is why I'm saying it's pre-Broadway.
Okay, Duncan Sheik. Perhaps you've heard of him. Lynn Nottage, right? And lyricist Susan Birkenhead.
Those are fancy people.
Those are
That could
fancy people.
So Deanna Dunnigan, remember she won a Tony Award for August Osage County.
Osage County.
Okay.
And we just talked about Ron D. Reed. It's like an August Osage County.
Oh my God, you're right. They both won
moment.
Tonys.
They did.
Yeah. The role that Meryl Streep played in the movie, right?
Correct.
She's coming back off Broadway. She'll be in The Treasurer at Playwrights Horizons, and that's a play by Max Posner, directed by David Cromer, and it starts September 6th. Also, a play called Bobby Clearly at Roundabout Underground. This sounds very edgy.
You like saying that name.
I do. It's a comedy about a tragedy.
What does that mean?
It's apparently about a murder in a cornfield in Nebraska, which brings up imagery I don't like thinking
hilarious.
about. And then it's about the townspeople years later making a comedy about it. I don't know, but it's directed by Will Davis, and it's at Roundabout Underground, and it's going to be edgy, and starts March 8th.
Great. Thank you for sharing.
What else you got, Beth?
Okay, well, there's going to be a benefit performance of the children's monologues.
Right.
This was done before. It was done at the Old Vic in like 2010 or something.
Yeah.
It's at Carnegie Hall on November 13th.
Yes.
This is stories of children then adapted by fancy playwrights like Lynn Nottage, again, because she's just really busy, Neil LaBute, David Hare, Tom Stoppard, and it's directed by Oscar winner Danny Boyle.
Yeah.
Okay, listen to this lineup.
Okay.
You've got Audra McDonald, she's got a few awards, David Diggs, Charlize Theron, Susan Sarandon, Lena Dunham, James McAvoy, Ewan McGregor, and Javier Munez.
Yeah, it's going to be.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So there you go.
And I want to talk about some divas. Shirley Ralph is a diva. She's Madame Marble, in a good word, by the way. She embraces it because she has the Diva Foundation. She raises money under the auspices of being a diva.
She loves being a diva.
And she's doing a concert at the Metropolitan Room July 30th. Wait, when is that? Is that like when that's like her last day in Wicked, I think. That's her last day in Wicked.
It's so true.
Because
She's
she's currently
celebrating.
Madame Marble.
Wait, can I talk about a diva too? Because while you're talking about that diva,
What?
Kristen Chenoweth.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
This is also Wicked related. See how everything is just tied up
I
together.
interrupted Beth.
Kristen Chenoweth is going to be at the London Palladium on October 20th for one night only.
Another Wicked vet.
One
concert.
night only is a song in Dreamgirls.
I have news about another Wicked vet, Andy Carl.
Look
right?
at that.
He's in Groundhog Day. He's fabulous. He and his wife did a concert. Orfea is the wife, another diva.
Another Tony
They did a
nominee.
concert at Feinstein / 54 Below, and it was called Legally Bound, because they were in Legally Blonde together, and they're married. And this one. And they made an album, one of those live Broadway records albums, so you can get that.
They can sing those too.
Sure, yeah.
They can really sing. All right. Andrew Lloyd Webber.
We know him, Dad. We used to call him Dad.
We used to call him Dad when Imogen Lloyd Webber
to
was
call him Dad.
here full time. He wrote a memoir. It's coming out next March 2018. It's called Unmasked. I wonder why it's called that.
To sell books.
So that's coming out. Okay, and then PBS is airing stuff that Broadway HD filmed. Shows.
Yeah, the Broadway HD
So
stuff.
check this out. She Loves Me, October 20th, Present Laughter, November 3rd, Holiday Inn, November 24th, and a tribute to Hal Prince, who's going to have quite a year. Not that he hasn't already had many years like that, on November 21st. So
you can watch all that stuff for free now.
Yeah.
Because before you had to pay for it. Now you can watch it for free. So if you didn't pay for it, there you go.
Correct.
So have a good time watching all that free stuff. We got to go. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with someone gorgeous and talented and in a really good play. Oh, Katrina Lenk, yeah. We'll be right back.
We have a story we want to tell you about a play that changed my life.
Of all the boys I've known, and I've known some, until I first met you, I was lonesome. And then you came in sight, there my heart grew light, and this old world seemed new to me.
You're really swell, I have to admit you deserve
to talk, not to spur. Man to man, queen to queen on a par, standing face to face.
Welcome back to Live at 5. We have Katrina Lenk here from Indecent. Yes, everybody should be applauding because Katrina Lenk is not only going to be not only was she the toast of the season, she will also be the toast of next season. If you watch Live at 5, you've heard me gush about the Vans visit, and you've seen all of us gush about Indecent. So welcome, Katrina.
Thank you. Thanks
How are
for
you
having me.
doing?
Good, good.
First of all, Indecent is such a gorgeous show,
Thank you.
and we were told that it was going to close.
Yes.
And then tell me what happened on that night when it's sort of like a pardon, like when the governor calls and then you get to live. That's sort of what it was like.
We all thought we were going to die, and
you got an extension.
we got an extension, which I don't think has ever really happened before. Like the closing notice was up on the call board, like closing.
So you were
day,
all like
boom.
saying your goodbyes, packing up your
trying to
dressing
figure out
rooms.
what am I going to get everybody for closing night gifts. Like serious questions were happening, and the audiences that whole last week once the closing notice was posted were insane. Like it was packed, standing room only, and the amount of energy that they were giving us was thrilling. So already the week was amazing, and then Daryl Roth called us all on stage before the show, and we were like, "What's this meeting?
You didn't know what it was. It was a real
we didn't know,
surprise.
like, what's happening now? Like, what could be worse than the closing notice?" And then she told us that we were extending until August 6th, and
What a
it's
gift
amazing.
for your
Yeah.
summer.
Yeah, and for the show, and for Paula, and for Rebecca, that more people can come and see the show and see what they've been working on for, I don't know, 10,
How long have you been
12
working
years.
on the show?
Since we did the first production at Yale, which was October 2015. So
So a real
2 years
connection, like a
almost,
real
yeah.
emotional investment in the work.
Yeah,
If you haven't seen
yeah.
Indecent, this is such a gorgeous piece of work. And Rebecca Taichman, of course, won a Tony Award.
Mhm,
I think
mhm.
she was more surprised than I wasn't
She
surprised.
was.
She was very surprised. But anyone who
Yeah,
saw the
yeah.
play knew that it was very well deserved. Very well deserved.
I think so, too.
Is it fun doing this show? Because it looks, first of all, let's go back a little bit. You get to play the violin in this show, don't you?
It's a viola.
Oh, it's a viola. Pardon
Yeah.
me. I don't know anything. You are a musician.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you have played before on Broadway, haven't you?
Yes, in Once. But that was a violin in Once. But I
Okay.
started
See,
out.
you can
on
see
the-
my confusion.
Yes, they're very similar. I started out on the viola when I was 6, and so that was like the first. Well, no, sorry.
When did you start out?
Dancer. I started when I was 3.
When you were 3, you were
Yeah.
a dancer.
I mean, however much you can dance when
so
you're
you're
3,
a dancer, a musician, and an actor.
Yes.
And you have gotten the chance to do all of those on Broadway, which is not always the case. Usually you have
No.
to pick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you have to make a concerted effort at some point in your career to go down one path over another?
I guess in college there was the thing, like my viola professor and my theater people were like, look, you have to choose because you can't go to dance class and the orchestra. It was like as mundane
It's hard to dance
as
with
that.
the viola.
It was just, yeah, and it was like a big dramatic decision, like, fine, I need to do dance and theater, and but I
hope it was a big emotional outburst like
I
that.
went like this. But then I just kept doing both. I'm not classic. I didn't pursue classical music after that. But I
you
played
can
in
play.
bands and I write. So I never really stopped playing music.
You are a Renaissance woman, and I'm not saying that in a sarcastic way at all. I really think you are.
I
And
can't cook though, so
cooking,
Does that-
yeah, you can order in. It's good.
Right,
You're
so,
fine.
yeah,
You're
yeah.
totally fine. Cooking is not important when you can play the viola. Billy's asking what it was like to perform in Once, and as an addendum to his question, I did look at your resume, and it said that you could harmonize with vacuum cleaners.
yes.
So does that come out of the Once experience?
I think the other way around.
Oh,
The Once
really?
experience came because I was so good at harmonizing with vacuum cleaners.
We can all try this at home.
Thank you for reading my resume.
Somebody has to do it.
You know, though it really, as far as vacuum cleaners and car alarms, when you're really stressed out and there's a car alarm outside your house making a really annoying noise, if you harmonize with it, it becomes like a stress release rather than like a stress causer, just a tip.
It's a tip. And actually, if you were going to have a roommate, you might want to ask these kinds of questions to your roommates, potential roommates.
Yes.
But anyway, to answer Billy's question.
What was it like?
What was it like performing once?
It was amazing. The musicians were all so talented and so open and generous to me coming in as a replacement. It was really intimidating because when I went to see the show before starting rehearsals, I was like, oh my God, how are they dancing and playing instruments? Oh God. And they, so there's a lot of rehearsal, a lot of practice, but they were very open and welcoming and helpful. So I felt at home right away, and to get to play an instrument on stage and dance and sing and act.
Do it all.
It was really,
And you did an accent. You were Czech, I think.
Yeah.
And then in the band's visit, you're Israeli.
Mm-hmm.
And in Indecent, so you're really, like, people don't know anything about where you're really from. They don't know what your voice is in reality. And I don't know where Arachne was from, because when you were in Spider-Man, I don't know where she's from.
It was like a Greek sort of.
She was Greek. And spider.
Mythology. Yeah.
Whatever that might sound like to you.
Mm-hmm. And she had fangs, so, makes it a little bit hard to.
You really are a
clearly.
Renaissance woman. Look at what you can do. Look at what you can do. Can we talk about the band's visit for a second?
Yeah, of
because
course.
obviously you're Indecent through August 6th. But then you already know what your next Broadway gig is.
What a crazy good thing
That's
that is.
an awesome thing.
Yeah.
And it was, I don't know if this is an appropriate term, but it was kind of like a sleeper hit because it was off Broadway at the Atlantic Theater.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden it won like every award it was up for.
It's
You were suddenly
crazy.
at every award ceremony with either one show or the other.
Yeah. It's nuts.
What was that like for you?
I mean, like this, like I just stammering most of the time and wondering what is happening and how is this happening, and I just couldn't believe my good luck to be in both of these shows, which are already really wonderful, but then to have those shows be recognized by other people who were moved by them was just, I mean, that's one of the reasons we do it, is to hopefully that the stories we tell will move other people, and that they did, and it's a crazy feeling. It's crazy.
I can imagine it is. And you know, both of these started off Broadway, so you kind of took these off Broadway gigs not knowing where they were going to go.
Yeah.
And they both took you to Broadway.
Yeah.
What I love about both of these shows, not to compare them, they're very different from each other, but when you walk into Indecent, you're seeing something so theatrical, you're like, I have not been here before, what, right? And the same thing in a different way with the band's visit was like, I don't know this part of the world. I don't think anyone does, because it's kind of in the middle of nowhere. And it's nice to be transported in that way as an audience member. I hope you're having fun with all these different projects you're on.
I am, and I do love how different they are, in that Indecent is so theatrical, and there's dance incorporated and singing, and we step out of the story. And in Band's Visit, it's very naturalistic and not a lot of showiness.
And based on a movie. I haven't seen the movie, but it's based on a.
It's an Israeli movie. Yeah, it's a big hit over there, and everyone knows it. It's like their beaches, but not. It's nothing like beaches.
Not like beaches, but like beaches.
But everyone knows it.
Yeah. No one's ever compared the Band's Visit to beaches before.
Well, today it happened. Today.
And both of these are, well, the Band's Visit is actually a proper musical.
Yeah.
It's musical, and Indecent is I would call it a play with music.
Yeah.
So someone's asking, Alec is asking, would you like to do a musical? But you have done musicals. But you've done both on Broadway.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Oh my God. So your first Broadway experience was what?
The Miracle Worker, the production that Kate Wiersky did.
Right, at Circle and Square.
At Circle and Square. I was an understudy for all of the women except Helen Keller.
Which was Abigail Breslin.
Which was Abigail Breslin, and Alison Pill was in it, and Jennifer Morrison.
Yep. Did you go on?
No.
You didn't go on?
No, and I was glad, because those women were so good. And I was like,
so you didn't actually make your, I don't know if it's like
does it count?
Is it a Broadway debut?
mean,
weigh in, people. Is it a Broadway debut
count?
if you're like in the playbill and get to go to the party?
I did go to the party.
I hope so. I hope they invited you. But you didn't get to actually bow and have a performance and all that stuff.
No.
So your first,
like
your actual Broadway debut was in Spider-Man.
Yeah.
With the fangs.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
With the fangs and the pincers. Yeah.
That went through so many different, versions with Julie Taymor.
Yeah. I wish I had seen the first version of it before all the changes happened. We saw a video of it, but just to been there to witness that show would have been amazing. Like, I wish I'd seen that.
Not bad at all. Not, oh, Alec is asking what your dream role is.
Oh no, dream role.
Dream role? You've done a lot. It's not all on Broadway, but you've done a lot of roles.
I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the dream role to be created.
I feel like this year they were both created
I
for
mean,
you.
I've had a pretty good yes. This year's been some really good roles, so I look forward to seeing what else is next. I don't have like.
So you're not
something
putting it
that-
out there. You're not like, I want to do this one classic
I
role.
mean, of course, Mrs. Lovett and Sweeney Todd, but everyone says
Everyone
that.
wants to be in
everybody,
Sweeney Todd.
Everybody wants to be in Sweeney Todd.
Spider Woman.
Spider-Woman.
Spider
Kiss of the
Woman.
Spider-Woman.
Kiss of
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I mean, she's already was a Spider-Woman.
Yeah, but like.
Okay, I just want to be clear.
Okay, I'll write that one down.
Yeah.
Lloyd's saying, will you take Adina with you to the band's visit?
Will I take Adina with me? I wish I could take Adina with me to the band's visit. She'll be
Obviously, your
having-
co-star in Indecent.
Yeah, she'll have Adina Verson. She's wonderful. I'm so lucky to be able to share this show with her. Like, she's a great teammate and partner and an amazing.
You play
actor.
off each other beautifully.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
it seems like you get along very well
Yeah.
off stage as well.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
great.
Between shows, we just take naps on the floor. Like
You're
on
already
2
kind
show
of already
days.
wearing your nightgown, so it's
Yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah.
You just take naps.
Just take naps.
It's an exhausting show. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. Henry's asking, what was your hardest role?
There was a production of Eyewitness, a play called Eyewitness in LA at the Mart Taper Forum several years ago. Barry Edelstein directed it. And it was really hard because I had to be a little on the fringe mentally. And there was my first scene was coming out, having like a crazy panic attack and ripping my shirt open on stage, and just insane things were happening, and it was very challenging.
That sounds hard. That sounds hard.
I mean, I learned a lot. It's very challenging. And also Indecent is really challenging, these roles in this show, because it's
You're doing so much, and
there's
they're
little
changing in time.
scenelets, kind of, and so you have to do a ton of offstage prep, but you already have had to have done that like years ago. You can't really do it on stage because there's no time. So this has been a good challenge in that way too.
All right, I'm just going to ask you a couple more questions,
Yeah.
and then we have to go, but oh my God, I love this woman, you guys. Jassie's asking, what gender-bending role would you love to play?
Hedwig.
Oh, I knew you were going to say that. You're a Hedwig head, aren't
MC
you?
in Cabaret would be really fun.
We're in.
Yeah.
We are in.
Or well, yeah. I don't want to be greedy. I'll just say this.
Okay, well, that's fine. That's really great. Okay, Lloyd's asking a question everyone always asks.
Okay.
Have there been any mishaps on stage during Indecent?
This time around, there haven't been, because there's not really a set and there's not a lot of technical elements. The only mishaps
you can
happen
wing it
are
a
like
little.
when
Forget a
we
line or
fuck
something.
up. But recently, I did fall down on the stage. Like my butt was on the floor, and nobody saw it. Nobody noticed. But it was like spotlight. I'm dancing in the front of the stage. Like nothing else
But
is to be looked at. But because there's spotlight and they're doing like scene change over here. Hi, look at me. Let me distract you from the scene change. And I fell like on the floor. And the choreographer was there and was like, oh no, I know. And he did not even.
Nobody was really looking at you, I guess.
I guess. Or maybe it felt like an eternity that I was on the floor, but maybe it was only a sec. I don't know. I sprung up so fast. Like.
That's amazing.
But yeah.
That is amazing.
But on the
Okay,
floor.
everybody loves you. I just want to let you know that. We're going to end with this question. Peyton asks this all the time. It's such a good question. What is the best advice you've ever been given?
I guess that would be to, as hard as you work on being a good artist, work as much on being a good person, and that's not always easy. And they sometimes go like this. But to remember, you're a person first, and then an entertainer second.
I love that. I don't think we've gotten that one before. Have we gotten that one, guys?
I don't know that I achieved
I
this.
like it. I like it.
But I try.
Katrina Lenk, you are a delight on stage and off.
Oh, thank you.
Go
you.
see
Nice to meet
Indecent.
you.
Do not miss this show. Do not miss the show. What are you thinking? You can't miss this show. Go see Indecent, and then later in the fall, go see the band's visit. And we will see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.
Bye.